am back on another break of day 3 of Miss Wheelchair American Nationals. It's day 3, full day. The peanut gallery is here on the couch, ladies and gentlemen, gesturing to me. So I wanted to start part 2 of answering you guys' questions about nursing and how I do my job from a wheelchair and healthcare and whatever else you guys threw at me. First little brand rep, got my awesome Healthcare is a Human Right shirt from Riot Healers. Represent. I'm obsessed with them, just obsessed. Okay, so let us start with okay, this is a combination from Drew because I love him. Do you put the patient's bed down all the way to the floor or just climb on the bed? One of my nurses is 5 foot and she's always climbing all around the bed. I just put the bed all the way down. I generally do not have to climb, but I'm lucky. My patient population, 97% of the time they're ambulatory unless they've just come down from a delivery, and even then they're on bed rest. Even when they are like C-section waking up from general anesthesia, they aren't bed bound long enough for me to have to really worry about pressure reduction. And so by the time that I would start to worry about that, they're able to turn themselves. So there's not a lot of bed mobility that I have to do. Now, have I done it from a chair? Absolutely. I have changed an entire bed with an immobile patient. It just takes a proper body mechanics. I'm lucky because I'm really long, so I don't really have to climb into the bed that much. I just reach my giant long Gumby arms over there and grab the blanket. I don't know. Make it work, I guess. But yeah, use the bed to your advantage. Like when I first started nursing, we were using hand crank beds at the hospital that I worked in. RIP, what was left of my spine mobility. And now we have beds that go all the way down the floor, fold the patient into a frickin' taco, flip them upside down, do a backflip, whatever you need. Like, use your beds. They are there to help your body. I don't care if you're a disabled nurse or an able-bodied nurse. Use the bed. So that's my answer to that, I guess. I did get asked what type of floor that I work on. So I am, for those of you who don't know my entire lengthy healthcare journey, I am currently a mother baby or a postpartum nurse. I care for both mom and baby from the moment of delivery to discharge. So I bundle checks, help with so much education because I'm the one that's like, okay, here's your new infant. Ta-da! So I teach breastfeeding, diaper changes, infant everything, give baby baths. It's a whole lot. And then for those of you who don't know, my background in healthcare, I started at age 16 as an EMT and stayed in emergency services all throughout nursing school. I was a CNA at one point, cardiac monitor tech, patient sitter, patient transport. I'm forgetting something. Clinical secretary. All through nursing school, and then worked as an ER nurse for almost 5 years until I started using a wheelchair, and then I did 2 years of case management, and now I'm a postpartum nurse. Yeah. Okay. Let us see, what other questions did you guys have? Did you face any discrimination with hiring? Dear God, yes. So proven discrimination, no. But for those of you who are disabled or have tried to job hunt while disabled, especially in the field of healthcare, businesses make sure that you do not catch them discriminating. All I know are the facts that I did the job hire as an able-bodied nurse with with quite a bit of experience on my belt. Never had an issue getting a job, never had an issue getting a call back. And then applying for those same jobs since requiring a wheelchair at the same time as becoming a public figure who was easily Googleable. Suddenly I did not get any more callbacks for jobs that I was overly qualified for. And it was job application, 17 or 18, was this postpartum unit job. And I'll be honest with you, the only reason that I got a call back is because it was a Zoom interview. And I don't know if you can tell, but you can't really tell I'm in a wheelchair via my cell phone Zoom camera. And I didn't realize that until they offered me the job. And I went, oh my God, they have no idea I'm in a chair. And immediately called HR and called my now boss, who luckily were like, okay, we'll play it by ear. We'll see what you can do. So it was kind of like, all right, well, are there any adaptations you need off the top of your head? No, and I won't know until I'm actually physically on the unit. As far as asking for adaptations, since working for as long as I have on my unit, the only issues that I really run into, I have difficulties with some of our doors that are very heavy. Our nursery door is insanely heavy. Can I do it by myself? Yes, it just takes me a long time. But generally there's someone sitting around there and I just get them to hold the door for me and there we go. Other than that, doing lab work on the babies, which we do when baby turns 24 hours old, which involves pricking the baby's heel and milking a lot of blood from it. It takes a long time. You were standing over a bassinet holding a heel, which obviously standing for that long period of time doesn't really work for me. So I am currently requesting like a raised desk chair, because that's really all I need is something to be able to pump myself up to be above the infant's crib, because right now the crib is just like perfectly level with me here, and so I'm like, okay, or propping myself up against a counter, which you know is not super safe, or sitting up on a counter, which yeah. So those are really the only adaptations I've had to ask for so far. Really, there's so much of nursing that is adaptable to all abilities, and I'm lucky that I do have lower leg mobility, so transferring is fairly easy for me. Most days I can stand for short periods of time if I need to. I feel like these question and answer videos are going to be way more boring than people expect, because I'm like, yeah, I'm just a nurse, but I'm sitting down. Woo! Let us see. How is the morale on your unit? So I know this question is related to COVID, so that's how we'll stick with that. We'll keep it there. Morale on my unit is better. It's way better than other units I've worked in during COVID. Specifically, that's because it's postpartum. Unless there's a positive mom or something like that, we really don't have to deal with it too much. Now with Delta variant coming up and everything, I'm sure it'll come back and it'll be one of those questions that's like, come back and ask me in a few months and I'll let you know. But as healthcare as a whole, it's rough. We're short-staffed, insanely short-staffed. Y'all know that last schedule we had mandatory 48 hours of call because we're so short-staffed. And postpartum is a unit that should never be short-staffed. It's a unit that people wait list and wait to get a job on. And I can see why. It's an awesome patient population. It's hard and it's scary, and it's either the best day or the absolute worst day of someone's life, and there is no in between. But yeah, that's the hardest part, is being so short-staffed and keeping morale up because of that. So that sucks. I also get asked all the time how I push an adult bed. I'll be honest, I haven't had to do this too many times, because if you see a woman in a wheelchair pushing a full-size bed down the hallway, people tend to stop and go, let me do that for you. Good God almighty. Can I do it? Yes. Is it awkward at some parts? Turning's kind of difficult. It depends on the bed. If you've driven those beds, they're hard to drive while walking. But is it possible? Yeah. Did you see me push the futon in the cart? That's way harder than pushing a hospital bed. If you know how to use the drive mechanisms on the bed, the hardest part is the fact that I have to lean down and use my hands to push the pedals. That's really it. Yeah, I'm sorry that this conversation series wasn't as like earth-shattering as I think a lot of people thought it might be. But yeah, I don't know. I continue to do my job the best that I can, and I just do it a little differently. I'm just sitting down, and it surprises my patients for the first like 2 seconds. I roll into the room and they're like, what? And then by 3 a.m. they don't care anymore. Like, don't even pay any attention to the fact that I've been here, and most of them forget because I'm their nurse and I'm still doing all the exact same things that I would be doing if I was standing their nurse. So yeah. But if you guys have any other questions about how I do perform my job duties, or videos that you'd like to see me demonstrate anything other than pushing the bassinet, that one is in the works, I promise. What's your question? Oh my God. Ryan's question was, how are you so beautiful? Stop making me blush on camera. I'll throw things in the peanut gallery over here.
Always wondering.
So that's really all I have for today. But if you want to submit any more questions, or like I said, videos that you want to see, please drop them in the comments below or shoot me a message. I love answering y'all's questions, and I know you guys have a lot about seeing a nurse on wheels, but that's me. All right, I'm going to go relax a little bit before the rest of day 3 for Miss Wheelchair American Nationals and change back into my Miss Wheelchair shirt. I hope you guys are having a good day.